My name is Jackie Liu, and welcome to my film review. The film that we're going to be tackling today is one of my favorite films of 2024, and my favorite Mandarin film in that year, Her Story. This review will try to be as spoiler-free as possible, but there are going to be times when I have to tackle certain events in the film. I will give a warning for them, as well as a timestamp for those who want to skip the spoilers. And now with that out of the way, let's talk about Her Story, directed by Shao Wei. I'm gonna be real, like, this is not a film that I was on my radar. I just knew it because I got dragged to see it. Uh, and the marketing got really big in China, right? This film caused quite a stir in China. Um, and it is one of my favorite films. Like, after watching it, I was very sad that it didn't get nominated the Best Foreign Picture nomination. So I think it deserved it. But let's be real, Oscars never really cared too much about the Eastern films in that slot, unless we're talking about exactly Parasite. At least, hey, good on Parasite for winning, I guess. Her Story is a zeitgeist rom-com feminism film that focuses on three different women at different ages. A lot of buzzwords, as I said. But I say that it's a romance film. It doesn't really feel like a romance film. Just more like a deconstruction of romance and what love is. You'll understand when you watch it. There's just a lot of individual stories about love that isn't anything near the kind of like the romancized happy-go-lucky rom-com films are. It's like a very realistic approach and sometimes too realistic of an approach. I mentioned the fact that it's a feminism film. It very much is a feminism film. If that turns you off, sucks for you, I guess. But it is more of a active conversation around the concept of feminism in modern China and tackles it from a very nuanced perspective through the lenses of our three main characters. Um, it feels how do I explain this? It's like preachy in nature in the way that a lot of essays and ideas and books are mentioned by the characters, but it doesn't isolate you if you don't know any of them. It just kind of mentions them, and then, but most of the discussion is done in the film with the characters, with the stories, and not just through those ideas. So I think even someone like me, if it was like, I'm a guy, but also like I'm not that well versed in a lot of modern like feminism theory. Like I can still engage with a lot of the ideas that the characters are bringing up and mentioning without feeling isolated. And I think that's a very amazing feat that the film is able to do. It's also become a meme in China that like if you don't like this film as a guy, like that's a big red flag. And I low-key agree with it because the film was amazing. Um, like it like first things first, it is very funny. It is one of the funniest films I've seen last year, right? I can't say for sure that every joke it is just does translate perfectly, because I watched it mainly in Mandarin. But every time I took a glance at subtitles, it seemed fine. I might have to rewatch it and try to watch it in English. Might be really difficult for me though, because I'm still hearing the Mandarin. But when I watched this at the theater in Vancouver, it was first of all, it was jam packed somehow, but the entire theater was dying of laughter. Right? It's a comedy style that is very modern. That can has a mix of it was like it's a lot of it is verbal, which a lot of people maybe fatigued by, right? But it has a mix of that and like a lot of physical comedy and a lot of like stuff that calls back onto other stuff in the story. The film feels really young, right? I don't know if that makes any sense, but there's an energy with it that's very much of modern, more like the film. Like I don't think this film was like was too high budget, but it also like wasn't that low of a budget. Like it feels very, but it still felt really indie filmy. But I think a lot of that is due to his director slash writer, who did an amazing job on like everything. Story wise, the film is not too complicated. It's a very like the overarching story of the film is pretty simple. I'm gonna be real. But I think that helps for the film, right? It's a film that's mainly around concepts of these characters and relationships and how how these the conversation and different situations that the characters feel and how they respond to it. So because so like the simpler overarching story helps highlight the other parts of the film that I think just work so well. Like again, I know some people might not like that, right? Like it's a kind of an artsy film in that way. Uh, but I think it works. Like, I think it works really well. Just having, less focus on the big story, but more focus on the visual, more like feeling like tableaus and the ways that the characters interact with each other. Um, right. Spoiler, spoiler to light spoiler territory, right? Like, I really like some of the more ridiculous things of the film. Whether or not that's when her ex husband, when Tim's ex husband, talks to the boyfriend guy that she like slept with, and through that like Uber ride, like that was honestly one of my favorite parts of the whole film, and it was really funny. Right? It's rare that we get, you know, the two characters talk about, uh, the two characters talking with each other. Obviously, it's still about one of the girls, but it's just, I think that part is done really well and, very ridiculous, but very funny. Another like ridiculous thing of this film is, um, Hunter says agrees to act as a lesbian couple to help, the other girl, help her with her relationship with the guy. Like a very, very ridiculous concept, trying to explain it out loud. Um, but if you when you see it, or if you see it, for the spoiler part, you understand that like it's so chaotic that it really plays off well with the rest of the film and really highlights these moments. Kind of end of spoilers. It just is a film that is very chaotic in nature, and that's, I think, it works for it. I think, like, maybe I'm biased. My favorite film is Everything Everywhere All at Once. That film was chaotic as fuck. This film was really chaotic. I love this kind of style. It's grounded in something. Like, if it's still in reality, but like a lot of it tackles very surreal situations and kind of surreal concepts. Right, some of these characters don't really act that human. Tamer's ex-husband for sure. But it's fun, right? It's literally like it's a film that's tackles a lot of serious issues while being relatively lighthearted. Um, and kind of a good watch. I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. Really, really funny. But it's not like the film that I don't think you can put it on in the background. I mean, obviously, if you don't understand the language, you can't do that shit either, anyways. But it's not a film that you can put on in the background. It's kind of a film that you have to focus on. You don't. You might not have to engage in every single concept that it's talking about. But for a lot of his comedy, a lot of stuff you do have to focus up and kind of, like see the things that it's talking about. You can choose not to engage with it. Like, you don't have to engage with it. The film doesn't force you to engage with it. Um, but it just plays well on those things, and I think as a movie that everyone should watch. It's great. It's really, really funny. As I said again, I'll mention it again. It's fucking hilarious. I was dying a lot of during that film. Yeah. You think you should watch it? I'll watch it again in English to try to see if the subtitles translate perfectly. And I guess if you like it, also if you like Taylor Swift, she gets a mention. She gets mentioned a few times for the film, and then she gets, they're involved, right? They don't have the budget for her, obviously. But like the kind of the climax of the story revolves around the concert, and a lot of mentioning of Taylor Swift. So I guess if you like Taylor Swift, you can watch this film, I guess, for certain mentions. I just thought it was really funny because the night where I watched the film, there was a Taylor Swift concert happening in Vancouver, and still this theater was goddamn sold out. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I hope if you watched it, I hope that you enjoy it as well. And yeah, if I had to put this on a rating, I think about a solid like out of 10, like maybe like a 9.5, 9.7 maybe. Um, it's just, I think, one of my favorite films. And in the genre that it's in, I think I've never had a film in this kind of zeitgeist comedy that I've enjoyed this much, because I'm usually a big guy on overarching stories and everything. This film was the first film that makes me feel like that might not be the most important thing that matters. So yeah, I hope if you guys do watch it, I hope you like the film. And that's me signing out. See ya.